Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a live really quick before I get going, before I go do my all my errands. I just finished I just now finished a talking circle um, that my therapist told me about. Um, and She oh, today is by the way, today's Tuesday. It's 11:01 here in California. So yeah, I was on the phone with my therapist yesterday, and I was telling her, I said, geez, I said, I really miss having, going to AAs. And she's like, well, haven't you been to any virtual ones? And I told her I haven't been to any, I really need to check into, the one I used to go to with my daughter. I heard that they do virtuals, but, I haven't checked into it yet. Anyway, we had a really good talking circle. There wasn't that many people there. There was only five of us. Um, Four women, one guy, and then our moderator. So really six people with the moderator. Um, and I wanted to touch on the subject that we talked about. It was how do you help people who are not compassionate, who are racist, who are not open minded? How do you help them to try and be, more compassionate? Um, and I learned a new word today. I didn't know that there was such a word, but it's called anti racist. And so our moderator was telling us that when people, use these terms, we all know the bad words, um, that we call people, as a racist. We all know those words. I don't need to repeat them. But he was saying that when people use these words, that we should stand up. We should stand up and we should tell them, no, don't use that. Don't use those words around me, you know. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was such a thing as an anti-racist. So I'm gonna have to work on that because I do. I hear a lot of different comments being made, and I never say anything. I just stay quiet. But he said that we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to speak up. So I I did want to touch on homosexuality. Um, it's a really touchy subject with some people. Um, it I've never had a problem with it. All my life, I've never had a problem with homosexuality. Um, Although I was raised up to believe that it is a sin. I've been raised up that way. But especially later on, like when I was 50 and over, that's when I really, really came into the understanding that um, we have what's called uh, two spirit natives. They're called two spirit natives, and that they're sacred. You know, wow. And in the Native American culture, um, they're seen as being sacred because they're two spirit. So I learned that in Sioux Falls at a well bride meeting. Um, I used to go there a lot when I was in the halfway house. I was in the Glory House there in Sioux Falls when I got out of prison. I got sent there. And so um, I think that um, one of the best things you can do as a parent is to accept your children. You know, no matter who or what your children are, what they become, I believe that you should accept them and you should love them regardless. I'm one of those parents that I always tried very hard to be open with my children. I tried to be transparent with them, not hiding things, and um, just being as honest as I could with them. And I think that one of the best things you can do for yourself is to just love yourself. I was talking to one of my relatives. I won't say who it was. I was FaceTiming with her, and I was asking her to repeat some phrases, and she repeated all of them. But when it came to the one phrase, I said, "Okay, now say I love myself. I love myself, and I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna be good to myself." And they couldn't say it. So, I think that that's really key. It's really number one. Um, if you want to become better, if you want to become well, if you want to heal, then you need to love yourself. You need to accept yourself. And that's a beginning you know, to changing, to a change. Um, and to accept yourself for who you are. Me, I'm very, very, I do love myself. I do love myself, and I share everything about myself. I don't hide, and I don't try to hide anything about myself, because that's how much acceptance I have of who I am. Um, you know, and I just want to thank my mother. I want to thank my mother. I want to thank my dad, because they're the ones that gave me a lot of love. You know, I had a lot of love from them growing up, and I just remember being a little girl and just wanting to be like my mom. How I looked at her and I watched her, and I said, I want to be just like my mother. And I was at her funeral in Fort Yates, her wake. I was at her wake, and this woman walked by. She knew my mom, and she said, "Gee," she said, "you really look like Laverne. You really sound like Laverne." She said that to me, and I was just like, that was one of the, that was like worth, oh my gosh, just millions, trillions, gazillions of dollars to me, because I've tried all my life to be like my mom. And I'm not like her in a lot of ways. My mom was stronger than I am. She was stronger than I am. She vision quested. She did her homblecha. She had her own sweat lodge. My mother was a great, great person. And when she was taken from this world and when she traveled on to the other side, she was given a royal um treatment. She was given royal treatment in her exit from this world, and she really deserved it. She really deserved that. And I look back on it. I look back on my mom's wake. She had two. She had one in Wakpala. She had one in Fort Yates. Um, and I really miss my home. I miss my homeland. I really miss it a lot. It's really different out here in California, out here in Los Angeles. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love LA. LA is, oh my gosh. I mean, from my head to my toes, I love LA. So don't get me wrong on that. But I just miss the old days, going to grandma's house, and my grandma would have her bapa soup on the stove. You would come into my grandma's house. They didn't care who you were. My grandma would feed you. My grandma always had like a big old pot of soup on her stove. You know, she would have enough for everybody. And I grew up really poor. I didn't have a lot of things, but I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about none of that, because I have the best. I have the best right inside here. I had all my cousins. I had so many cousins. You know, all my uncles and aunties, they all had like, almost every single one of them had 10 kids. So there you go, man. There's cousins galore, you know. But I really really miss the old days. And it's after grandma passed away in 1981. I think it was 1981 when my grandma passed, in December of 81. When she passed away, I mean, it's just like everything changed, you know. It's Wakpala is not the same. I don't know if you guys have been there lately, but when I went there in 2009, that was the last time I was back there. It was like, it's like a freaking ghost town now, you know. It's just, it's pathetic. It's not even close to being the same that it was. But yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that, and say that, you know, that if you're gay, you shouldn't be ashamed of it, and if your children are gay, you shouldn't be. I don't feel that you should be ashamed of that. I've seen parents, and I know parents personally, that they ostracized their own children when they found out that they were gay. And I was like, wow, I totally didn't get it, you know. But you know, to each his own. To each his own. I'm on here to share my beliefs and what I believe. And I want to give a shout out to my daddy. My daddy Jake. That was his name. My daddy's name is Jake. Give a shout out to my dad. I miss you a lot, Dad, and I'm really sorry that we weren't able to do all the things that we planned to do, but we will, Dad. We will one day. We're gonna get there, and we're gonna be able to do everything that we planned. And you guys have a good day, okay?